You're not alone, but what if you had a front row seat to one of the most epic journeys in pop culture history? In this video, we're exploring the incredible history of Marvel Comics, from its humble beginnings in 1939 to becoming the powerhouse behind the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Before we jump in, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss content that helps you shine in love, life, and legendary storytelling. Let's turn the page, starting now. The birth of Timely Comics, 1939 to 1950. Marvel's incredible journey began in 1939, during the golden age of comic books, when publisher Martin Goodman established a company known as Timely Publications. At a time when comic books were just beginning to explode in popularity, Timely's first release, Marvel Comics #1, became an instant landmark. This debut issue introduced readers to the original Human Torch, a fiery android with the power to ignite at will, and the fierce, underwater anti-hero known as the Submariner. Sold on newsstands for just 10 cents, Marvel Comics #1 would go on to become one of the most iconic and valuable comic books in history, now considered a priceless artifact in the world of collectibles. With the onset of World War II, American pop culture shifted dramatically, and comic books quickly reflected the rising sense of patriotism and urgency. In 1941, Timely introduced what would become one of its most enduring icons, Captain America. Created by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby, Captain America Comics #1 famously featured the titular hero punching Adolf Hitler on the cover, a bold and timely statement that instantly resonated with readers. The comic sold nearly 1 million copies, catapulting Captain America to stardom and establishing him as a symbol of American courage, justice, and determination. At a time when the world was gripped by fear and uncertainty, the character gave audiences hope, a hero who physically stood against the tyranny of fascism. Throughout the war years, Timely Publications thrived. The demand for comic books soared, especially among soldiers and young readers seeking both escapism and inspiration. The company expanded its lineup beyond superheroes, publishing a wide array of genres including horror, westerns, detective mysteries, and romance tales, reflecting the diverse interests of a growing audience. However, the post-war period brought significant challenges. As soldiers returned home and societal priorities shifted, the public's fascination with superhero stories began to wane. Readers turned their attention to other forms of entertainment, and superhero comics experienced a sharp decline in popularity. In response, Timely adapted by scaling back its superhero titles and shifting focus to other genres that were gaining traction, such as crime dramas and teen romance. This era of transition marked both a low point in superhero storytelling and a crucial period of reinvention for the company that would eventually evolve into the Marvel Universe we know today. The Atlas Era and Near Collapse, 1950 to 1961. In the 1950s, the company rebranded as Atlas Comics. This period was marked by uncertainty and declining sales. The comics industry faced severe criticism, particularly from Dr. Frederick Wertham's book, Seduction of the Innocent, which blamed comics for juvenile delinquency. The establishment of the Comics Code Authority in 1954 further restricted content, forcing Atlas to tone down their horror and crime comics. By the late 1950s, the company was struggling financially and had reduced its output dramatically. Martin Goodman was on the verge of shutting down the comic book division entirely. The turning point came when Goodman's golf partner mentioned that DC Comics was having success with their superhero team, the Justice League. This casual conversation would spark the creation of Marvel's most famous characters. The Marvel Revolution, 1961 to 1970. In 1961, editor Stan Lee was tasked with creating a superhero team to compete with DC's Justice League. Instead of following the traditional superhero formula, Lee created the Fantastic Four, flawed, argumentative characters with real-world problems. This marked the beginning of the Marvel Method and the Marvel Age of comics. The success of Fantastic Four led to an unprecedented creative explosion. Stan Lee, working primarily with artists Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko, created an entire universe of interconnected characters. Spider-Man debuted in 1962, bringing teenage relatability to superheroes. The X-Men tackled themes of prejudice and social acceptance. The Avengers brought together multiple heroes in one team. Expansion and growing pains, 1970 to 1990. The 1970s saw Marvel expand beyond superheroes with horror titles like Ghost Rider and Tomb of Dracula. The company also began licensing characters for television and merchandise. However, this period also brought creative and financial challenges as Stan Lee stepped back from writing to focus on business development. New creators like Chris Claremont revolutionized the X-Men, turning them from a canceled series into Marvel's most popular franchise. Frank Miller's work on Daredevil brought a darker, more mature tone to Marvel Comics. The company experimented with different formats, including graphic novels and limited series. The 1980s brought both triumph and turmoil. While characters like the Punisher and Wolverine became breakout stars, Marvel faced ownership changes and financial instability. The company went public in 1991, but soon found itself struggling with overexpansion and market speculation that led to the comic book crash of the mid-1990s. Bankruptcy and Rebirth, 1990 to 2008. The 1990s were Marvel's darkest period. Despite popular characters and storylines, the company filed for bankruptcy in 1996. The comic book speculation bubble had burst, leaving Marvel with massive debt and declining sales. The company was forced to sell the film rights to many of its most popular characters, including Spider-Man to Sony and the X-Men to Fox. The turning point came with new leadership and a focus on character-driven storytelling. The Ultimate line, launched in 2000, reimagined classic characters for modern audiences. Meanwhile, Marvel began developing its own film projects, starting with Blade in 1998, which proved that Marvel characters could succeed on the big screen. The real game changer came in 2008 with Iron Man, the first film produced by Marvel Studios. Robert Downey Jr.'s charismatic performance and the film's post-credit scene featuring Nick Fury talking about the Avengers Initiative set the stage for something unprecedented in cinema. The Marvel Cinematic Universe era, 2008 present. The Marvel Cinematic Universe represents the ultimate realization of Stan Lee's original vision of an interconnected comic book universe. Starting with Iron Man, Marvel Studios carefully built a shared universe across multiple films, culminating in The Avengers in 2012. The MCU's success is staggering, over 30 films generating more than $25 billion worldwide. Characters once considered second-tier, like Iron Man and the Guardians of the Galaxy, became household names. The franchise expanded to television with series on Disney Plus and dominated popular culture. Disney's acquisition of Marvel Entertainment in 2009 for $4 billion provided the resources and distribution network needed to fully realize Marvel's potential. The deal has proven to be one of the most successful acquisitions in entertainment history. Alright, that's a wrap on the history of Marvel Comics, from its comic book roots to the big screen heroes we all know today. Take a deep breath, honor the legacy, and remember, every great universe starts with one bold idea. If you like this, give it a thumbs up and tell us your favorite Marvel era or character in the comments. And if you want more real, easy-to-love content about life, legends, and pop culture, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss out. Catch you in the next one.